I know, I gotta check. I always check. I'm like, yeah. My baggy shirt. But that's cool. Got everything. Hello, world. I'm Frankie, and this is the Bosque Mobile Bicycle Repair Show. Today, we are live at Denver Community Studios here in Denver, Colorado, USA. I'm going to teach you how to fix a flat out on the trail, out in the field, how to use electrical tape as a rim liner, and how to lock up your bicycle properly. So let's get started. I'm going to get my bicycle and I'm going to show you. So say you got a flat on your rear wheel. You want to shift your bicycle to the highest gear. So that means the largest chain ring, which this is your chain rings right here, and you want to shift to the smallest cog on your rear wheel. So that's the highest gear. Whenever you're shifting, you want to be pedaling when you're shifting. But if you're on the rear, if you're downshifting, you can, if you're shifting to the highest gear, you can get away with not pedaling. With the front derailleur, you got to be a little bit more sensitive or picky. You know what I mean? So what I like to do is I like to just, so we can get a good shot, I'm just going to put the pedal up and get ready to shift while I'm going to do the rear one first. So gotta pedal that. See that? So I'm in the smallest cog right there. Now I gotta shift into the biggest chain ring, which is a little bit more difficult. But yeah, let me just cut that. Let's see. Gotta do that slowly because you don't want to damage your derailleur or cables. So you hit the brake. I'm gonna flip the bicycle upside down. Okay, so we got it right here. Got a so I have a nutted axle, so it uses nuts in a solid axle. If you have a quick release like this, it's a different thing. You know, just pull the lever back and then loosen it. If you have through skewers, you know, that's another thing. But I got some portable tools. I've also made a video specifically on some portable tools that I recommend. I keep my tools in a little bag, that way I don't put a hole in my backpack. I usually carry a backpack. And also it's an organization thing. So yeah, so I got these. This is made by Pedros. This is a little wrench right here. So what I'm gonna do is loosen this. Of course this tire is not flat, but hypothetically if it was flat. So I'm loosening up my wheel and I'm gonna take it off. Like this. So what I do is I just loosen it up enough to where I can unscrew it with my fingers. Oh, another thing, sorry, forgot. Always disengage your brakes. That's if you have rim brakes. Now if you have disc brakes, you don't have to worry about that. With rim brakes, that's another story. But yeah, let me flip this over so you can get a better shot of me releasing these brakes on this bicycle. So can you get this V-brake shot right here? You got it? Can you see it? I don't like the way that looks. There you go. Bam. This camera right here, camera number 2. So you want to disengage. Let's get a focus on there, please. So
I'm sorry about that.
it's okay. It's all good. So you want to disengage your brake. So what this does is it opens them up so you can pull your wheel out. Now, if your brakes are adjusted properly, you wouldn't be able to pull out your wheel with the brakes engaged, you know. But I know there's a lot of different styles of rim brake pads. These are V-brakes, but it's pretty much the same process with most rim brake pads. So anyways, I'm gonna flip this back upside down. Let's get it back out right here. Okay, so next thing, let me move this. Yeah, that's right here. That's good. That's good. We're all good with the cameras? Okay. Cool. So what I do is I grab the derailleur and I kind of pull it back. If you have a 1x system, like you have one chain ring here and a rear, just you don't have no derailleur in the front and a derailleur in the back, make sure that little lever is open. It'll make your life a whole lot easier. So I'm gonna pull this out. Oh, actually I have to unscrew it again. See this? So loosen that up. Pop this wheel out. Actually, with this derailleur's in the way, so I have to unscrew this bolt all the way. Bam. So I got that wheel out. And let me move this bike out the way, out the shot. So So hypothetically, this tire is flat, which I should have got it flattened before we shot it. It's all good. Okay. Get the air out. It's a lot of air. So if your tire's not fully deflated, you know, maybe you're just running really low on tire pressure and you want to switch it out because, you know, if you pump it up again, it's not going to last till you get home. You know, release all the air. That way it's easier to take off the tire. So what I'm doing is, I don't know if you can hear that, I'm breaking that bead. Breaking the bead away from the rim hook. So this is why you don't ride with tubeless tires, because it's going to be really difficult to do this by hand. So I got a lever. These are my my tire levers. I only use these two. This one's by Pedro's. This one's by Bontrager. I don't like Bontrager brand, but they do make a really good tire lever. So it's yeah, very has a lot of material thickness on it. So actually, that's not good. Yeah, there we go. So I kind of put this underneath here. Sorry about. I kind of bend the tire back, put the tire lever in there, and boom. No, not that shot. I like the other one. That one. Yeah, that's better. So I'm gonna go do this process all the way around the tire until that one side of the tire is off the rim. Okay. And then I'm going to it's hard to do. Actually, keep it on this shot. Keep it. Actually, let's switch to this shot. This camera right here, camera number 2. Back out a bit. It's a more comfortable position. So it's always good to take the valve out first. So push that valve out. Let's see. It's weird because I want to get a good shot, but it's like not comfortable at all. So I like to take out the valve first. Sometimes it's just easier to take the tire off, but then do that last. You don't have to worry about messing up that inner tube because it's already popped. So I'm just going to take this off and then pop that out. Okay, so let me put this aside real quick. Let me put this on the ground. So if you're on the trail, you want to, of course, take out this inner tube. Take out the inner tube. We got a good shot. Got a good shot right there. Now you want to rub your fingers inside the tire and find out where that thorn is, because you don't want to put in a new tube and then there's still a piece of thorn sticking through, protruding in the tire. You know what I mean? The top part of it can break off and the sharp end can be not visible from the outside, and it can still be poking out through here. But you also want to do a visual inspection of the tread and the outside, so that way you can see what it is. Sometimes it's super obvious. It's like you pull it out, you know it's you know what it is. But rub your hands slowly in the tire to feel for whatever is protruding through the tire. So you're doing that. If you have a knife, because I know you're probably not going to, you should carry tweezers, but I don't carry tweezers. I'll just get a knife and I'll pick it out with a knife. I don't have a knife on me, but but yeah, sometimes you can just, bend it and look, visually inspect in the tire, see if anything's protruding. This is a hypothetical situation, so yeah. So anyways, but go ahead, check it, then reinstall the tire on one side. So one side of the tire. Okay, let's get the wide shot. Okay, so we're gonna put that in there. Also, check your rim tape. My bad. Check your rim tape. You don't have to get a close up of this, but just make sure that it's not shifted, make sure the spoke holes are the spoke nipples are covered, and then reinstall your tire. Okay, so reinstall it. Usually I'm not wearing gloves, but sometimes it's good to bring gloves on the trail, because if you gotta fix a flat, and we're gonna do this. So we just want one side open. Okay, put this on the ground. Let's get this out of here. We don't. Oh, I dropped my bike. But I did that. Okay, so live stream. Okay, so I got a new tube. And I got this portable pump. Like I said, I made a video specifically about the tools that I carry and that I carry on the trail to fix flats. So this is made by Toe Peak. This pump right here, it's really cool, and you can get some high PSI with this pump. So basically, all I'm going to do is going to put a little bit of air into this tube. Make sure right here, boom, 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 just to give it some shape, So I don't need to. If you have a Presto valve, you can actually just, some people they open the valve and they blow in it real quick, and then it can inflate. With Schrader you can't do that. But yeah, I just put a little bit of air, nothing crazy. And when you're installing the tube, let's see, we ain't gonna. Yeah, it's hard to get this shot. Let's get this camera number 2. Let's get camera number 2 right here. Okay, cool. So you always want to start off with the valve. And I know somebody out there on YouTube is going to be like, you got to line the logo up with the valve hole. You know what? I don't have no time for that. I got to get home. So I put the valve in. And yeah, who cares about the logo lining up with the valve? I am not a diva, so just put it in there. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so we got that. Gonna pull this. I like to push to make sure that your valve stem is pulled down. And so while you're installing, make sure that valve, and after you get done pumping, make sure this isn't crooked. Are you getting it?
Yep.
Okay, got it. Yeah, keep it close. Keep it close. You got it right there. Let's let the camera focus. Oh, there you go. Who got that? Oh, the PTZ. PTZ got it. Okay, so yeah, make sure this is straight, like up and down, not crooked. Like, let me see. I don't know if I can make. Let me see if I can make it with this rim. I can't make it really crooked, but it's a double walled rim. With the single wall rim, it's easier to make this more crooked. You want to make sure it's up and down. Because you'll rip the base of the inner tube where the valve meets the tube body. So anyways, I'm gonna work this tire back on by hand. Can you get a closer shot of? Yeah, I'm not that pretty, so I'm not that pretty. Let's see that. Megan's right behind you. She's gonna. Okay, actually, where you were was way better. If you can move right there, like, because I want to see it like this right here. Okay, got it. There we go. That's a little. There we go. Cool. So yeah, getting it. How's the PTZ doing? PTZ. This one right here. Yeah, there you go. Zoom in, zoom in. Okay, so I'm gonna be working the bead onto the tire. Now, if it gets difficult, release some air. Release some air. Okay, bam. That's why the bigger the tire, like the wider ones, like the 2-inch wide, it's super easy to put it on. I know of you road guys, it's a little bit more difficult. I know they say don't never use a tire lever to put a tire back on, but if it's difficult, you know, I use it. If it's really difficult, I use this, but you got to know how to use it without puncturing the inner tube. They also have like another tool. Let me pull this tool out. I wanted to show it one day. I think I have it on me. Yeah, there we go. This one, Cool Stop makes it. So if you got like a really difficult road bicycle tire, like a 700 by 28C, 700 by 25C, this tool right here is made for difficult tires, but it's light, but it's bulky. So I know most road cyclists don't want to carry this, especially, you know, but if they're worried about weight. Okay, so now to pump it up. So I'm using my Topeak bicycle tire pump, and I need to lean this on something. So actually I could just probably do it like this. This cool thing about this, it has this flexible hose, and it can like retract and extract, so it's pretty cool. So right here, so when you see the pump will the valve will recess in there when you're trying to put on the pump head. So you got to push your thumb onto the valve right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna pump it up, and if you're not strong, you're going to get a workout, because this can't do this. So what I'm doing is I'm not pumping it up all the way. I'm trying to pump it up to where I can pull this tire back and inspect the inner tube and make sure the inner tube doesn't go in between the tire bead and the rim hook. So before I fully inflate the tire, let's get a wide shot. So I'm just going to massage the tire. So what I'm doing is like inspecting between the tire bead and rim hook, you know. I mean, if you're a beginner, you know, look all around, but me, I'm pro, so I know how to feel if it is between the if the inner tube is between the tire bead and rim hook. So yeah, we're all good. Yeah. So yeah, and if you're and also if you're having trouble putting on the tire, I would save the valve part for the last, especially if you have a road bicycle, because you want to push up this valve before you put on the last part of the tire. That's a little trick. But anyways, gonna pump this up. How's camera number 2 doing?
I'm in there.
You're pretty good? Alright. So, got this. Push this. Let's see here. Time. Cool thing about this pump, it does have a little pressure gauge on it, but it's just a very general gets you in a general area. But yeah, and this is why you shouldn't buy those little tiny pumps, because oh my gosh, you think this is difficult? Like, the higher the PSI tire you have, the more difficult it is. So, and I know there's some roadie out there who's like, you could just use a CO2 cartridge. Yeah, you only got one shot at pumping up your tire with the CO2, and if you overinflate, you explode the tire. If you underinflate, then you're SOL. Not good, but yeah, you get the idea. So think I got it at 35, but it's supposed to be at 55 psi. But anyways, see how nicely that folds up? Pretty cool. So also for the beginners, your psi is located on the sidewall of your tire. It's molded onto there. You don't have to get a close-up of it, cause I mean you can. I don't know if you'll get it in the shot because of the lighting. Let me see. This is, hold on a second. Keep it on this top of the tire. I'm gonna spin it around to the psi. Let me see. Can you get? Zoom in as close as you can right here by my finger. Oh, you can see it. Right on. That's awesome. So yeah, so it's they make it really difficult to see because it's molded into the tire and it's the same color. It's kind of raised, but you can get like a crayon or what they call a wax marker for like tile and kind of rub it on there so you can see it more visible, or you could just write it on there with a wax marker. Yeah, so that's where your pressure range is located at. This one has bar and psi labeled on it. Let me see. PSI and bar. For America, we use PSI, pounds per square inch. That's our unit of pressure. This tire says, what does it say? Oh, it's right here. My bad. It says minimum 50, max 80 psi. So it can be anywhere from 50 to 80 psi. And then bar, that's for everybody else in the world. Metric, but yeah. So I'm gonna put this back on the bicycle. And one thing I forgot, if you're out on the trail, try to look for some sticks or logs or something like that. Sticks or rocks. That way you don't damage your shifter. So you want to set your bicycle down softly, so you don't tear up your bicycle seat or damage your shifters on your bicycle. Or if you have like a bell, a bracket for a bicycle light, so keep it raised off the ground. You don't have to. I mean, I would take off the bicycle bell or something like that, or whatever you have, and then settle it slowly on the ground. Even with the shifters, if you put it down softly, it will not get damaged. Okay, so now I'm gonna put the wheel back on. So you want to make sure, since we shifted to the highest gear, which is the smallest cog, you want to put it back, put the chain back on there. So I'm pulling it back, and then you put it down. Okay, and watch out for the brake pads stuff. And I'm kind of releasing as I put it in, releasing the derailleur. And so I'll put this back on there. And when you're putting your wheel in there, you can't really see it from this when you're putting the wheel in. Well, you can. You want to make sure it's these are called your chain stays right here. This part of the frame is called the chain stays. This and this. Let's get a wider. Yeah, there we go. These are called your chain stays right here. I believe so. Yeah. But if I'm incorrect, correct me, but you just want to make sure it's center. Now, so and also you want to make sure that the axle is let's get a shot of this. Yeah, that right there where my fingers are. Let's get closer on there. Let's get real close on that shot. Let's go right here. So you see this axle is not, what is it called? Like it's not like that. It's all the way in there. It's bottoming out on that axle. So it's like boom. That's what you want. That's what you want for safety reasons, because you want this part of the nut, to be touching the frame. Now, not all manufacturers made their. This is a true thing. Even on expensive and inexpensive bicycles, they might not have machined this or cut it correctly. So even if you put the axle in all the way, the wheel may be slightly off center or crooked, so you may have to move it a little bit, 1 or 2 millimeters, to make the tire appropriate. You know what I mean? Straight in between the tires or the rim. But and hopefully your bicycle was adjusted properly, you know, by the shop, or you adjusted it properly. But sometimes you have to make it a little bit, you know, cocked or whatever, so it's the tire's center. So, but yeah, so that's in there. Can tighten this up. This is my little portable wrench. I can do that, and just kind of keep an eye on that rim and make sure it's you know what I mean, center. Spin it. Well, re-engage your brakes. You can do it. I don't know if you can get that shot, but let's see. Yeah, that's good enough, because I'm going to show with the bike in the sand. So spin your wheel. Make sure that your pads aren't rubbing on your rim. Make sure the brake pads aren't rubbing on the tire. And I'm going to show you with another bicycle what that looks like. If you're not comfortable doing a brake adjustment out in the field, just wait till you get home. That way you don't make it worse, or wait till you take it to a bike shop. Wait till you get home so you can take it to a bike shop. But if it's rubbing on that tire, you gotta move it, that brake pad, because it'll rub a hole through that tire. So that's unfortunate. You might have to buy a whole new tire. With disc brakes, when you're putting your wheel back in, make sure you don't try not to hit that or move that brake pad too far out, because you might how do you say might have to readjust your pistons or the brake pads. You know, if you hit it too hard and pull the brake pads inward. It's easier to loosen the mounting bracket of a disc brake and then put the wheel in and then readjust it. But of course, if you're not a mechanic, if you're out in the field, you don't want to do that. So just it's going to be hard with the disc brake to put that wheel back in to where it's not going to rub. But with the disc brake, you don't have to worry about rubbing a hole in your tire. Your disc may be rubbing while rubbing a bit while you're riding. You have to adjust your brake, but you'll get home. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about damaging your tire and then having to buy a whole new one, an expensive tire. But yeah, I'm going to show you with the bike in the blue stand. I'm going to move this out the way. Actually, move this out the way. Move this out the way. Oh, there goes my bike. Okay, so yeah, we got to back up real quick. So let's move this out here. Okay. So we need to get a close-up of this right here, wherever my hand is. Let's get you. Actually, you don't want to block that. Let the PTZ do it. You stay over here. That way. So yeah, actually, let's get that. Let the center camera can get a better shot. Okay. Closer. A little. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, so this is a perfect example. This brake pad is way too high. Now, this is a fixie, so it has there's a lot more adjustment, a lot more forward and backward moment with the axle and the dropout of the bicycle frame. Let's get a super wide shot. Not with this, keep this camera on this shot, but let's get a super wide. Let's get this camera right here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So with the frame, you can move this wheel real further and back and still be in safe in the dropouts, because this is a fixed gear bicycle. With the older style bicycles, they have the vertical dropouts as well, and there's a lot of adjusting you can do with it. So when you put that wheel back in, you got to try to put it in the same spot. That way, if your brakes were adjusted properly, you got to put that wheel back try to put it in the same spot. That way you don't have to readjust your brakes. But in this scenario, you're gonna have to readjust your brakes. So his tension's already tightened, already set on this chain. I think it is properly. I just got this bike right here for the prop. But let's just say that his tension is good. He pulled it, the wheel center. But let's go to the close-up of the brake pads. This camera right here, the middle one. PTZ, please. Right there. Yeah, leave it on there. So as you can see, his brake pads are way too high. So if he hits you gotta, after you put your wheel in, check your brakes. Squeeze them, spin the wheel. You know, the wheel could be out of true, and it could be hitting that brake pad. This wheel is pretty true. It's true. It's good enough. But it's the brake pads are so high, when I engage the brakes, it's gonna hit that tire. It's gonna wear on that tire. It's probably like super close. They're talking about less than a millimeter away from that tire. But you know, you don't want to risk it. You don't want to have to buy another tire. This is an expensive tire right here. This is I think it's a Schwalbe Marathon Plus. Yeah, this is a $60 tire. So yeah, you don't want to. Matter of fact, see that Marathon Plus. I highly recommend this tire. This is the best tire you can buy for puncture resistance. You know, I know there's some performance riders who are like, you know, weight weenies who are like, I'll never ride that. Anyways, but I'm gonna adjust this brake pad. Now keep it on that shot for me. Keep it on that. No, not that one. That's yeah, that one. There we go. So I'm gonna adjust this, and let me get my let me see. I think it's a 9 millimeter. Oh, it's a 10. Oh, it's a 10. So it has a 10 millimeter nut on it. So I'm gonna adjust that. Now you can do a wide shot real quick. So I got my nut driver. I'm gonna adjust this. And okay, let me see. I'm gonna get his other brake pad too, because I don't want to leave them high and dry. Good thing about this wheel, it has a pretty big braking surface right here. Let's get a close-up of that in the middle camera, please. Let's see. It's still a little high. Let me bring it down a bit. Let's see. Wide shot again. Wide shot again. Okay. These are called box brake pads. Let me see here. Bring it down more. There's a lot of room for adjustment on these type of calipers. Right here. Let's see. Pretty good, actually. This is a huge braking surface on here. Yeah, that's pretty good. You want to, I'd say, at least 2 millimeters away from that tire when it hits the braking surface. 2 millimeters. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see. But let me see. You get the what is it called? Yeah, that's pretty good. So let's get a close-up shot. So you see that? It's about it's hitting about 2 mil away from the tire. Depending on your rim, you know, the surface area, you may have very, you know, little room for adjustment. But this rim has a, you know what I mean? So you want to check your brakes. And then, you know, of course, you can do a more thorough adjustment when you get home, or you take it to the bike shop. You know, you just want to make sure you get home safe, and, you know, don't have a sidewall blow out, and then you gotta spend a lot of money. So, but anyways, what else do I have for you guys? Oh, if you have hydraulic disc brakes, you're gonna have a real hard time putting your wheel back in, because you got about like 1 to 2 millimeters of space on each side of the disc brake. Hydraulic brakes, mechanical disc brakes are easier. but with adjusting and also space and play with the the brakes. But yeah, the hydraulics is a pain. Um, but yeah, so that's how you fix your flat on the trail. I'm trying to think of anything else before I. Oh yeah, so yeah, this is for tubed. Now this is why I don't like to use slime. I sell slime. I know I sell slime because that's what the people want, and it's not about me. It's about what the customer wants, the consumer. Um, what was I gonna say? So like if you have sealant, it's gonna get messy. You definitely want to bring some gloves. You know what I mean? And and some rags to wipe it out. But just buy some puncture resist. I recommend just buying some puncture resistant tires, like this one right here. I have a video on my channel about what tires I recommend. I personally I ride the Kenda Quick Drumlin tire, which is awesome. The tire is really cool. It's more like beefy, wide, and a lot more tread. Tennis armor. Tennis armor is another option, especially if you have big tires, fat tire bike, or a 4-inch wide tire, 3 to 4 inch wide tire. What was I gonna say? Yeah, tennis armor. The tennis armor sells a tubeless version. I don't recommend it. I don't ride tubeless. I would never ride tubeless. Life's complicated enough already as it is. Why are you gonna complicate, your bicycle? People just want to go out and have fun, ride, or commute to get to work on time. You can't do this with a tubeless tire. You can't do what I just did with a tubeless tire. A lot of times they say, yeah, you can. Well, let's see them do it on a live stream. Let's see them, the people that love tubeless, do what I just did in that amount of time. I was taking my time doing that. I could have switched that flat tire in 5 minutes if I really wanted to. But yeah, tubeless tires suck, so I don't ride that. Anyways, we're gonna go to a quick break. I gotta reset the the area right here. So yeah, we'll be right back. Bosque mobile bicycle repair here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use electrical tape as a rim strip or rim liner, whatever you want to call it. Of course, this isn't for tubeless. This is for tubed tires. So there's some people that say you shouldn't use this. It's it's horrible. It's going to expand and your tire's going to blow out the side. I think GCN said that. I don't know for sure. I heard him say something about that. Anyways, you could use it. Trust me. I would say switch it out at least once a year. I don't recommend this as a what is it called? Like if you can't, if there's no bike shop in your area, or you don't want to buy from them, like me, I don't. Some that I don't like them, but or you don't want to wait. You don't want to spend like $10 on shipping for a rim strip that costs $5 or $4. Then yeah, just use electrical tape. But I recommend like that cotton adhesive rim tape. I love that stuff. It's pretty pricey. It's like $4 or $5 for just one strip for one wheel. I think it's called Velox. It's French brand, and Surface makes. I don't know if they still make it. That type of rim strip, cotton adhesive rim strip, but I love it. It works really good. The only bad thing is you can't take it off and reinstall it because it's adhesive and it might get it'll lose its stickiness. But anyways, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap. I put two layers to cover it. But the valve hole only has one layer of electrical tape. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It sounds kind of impossible. How can you wrap the whole wheel twice, but only the valve hole once? That's because you start on one side of the valve hole, wrap it, and then stop on the other side of the valve hole. So, okay. So this rim, and it's hard to get a shot with this camera shot with this rim because it's so deep. This is a single walled rim. It's not a double walled rim. So the spoke nipples are exposed. The top of the spoke nipples, they're not recessed like they would be in a double walled rim. Now this has a cheap rubber rim strip. I really do not like these. I'd rather use electrical tape than this right here because yeah, these deteriorate pretty fast, or they're just flimsy. I might be able to just rip it. No, this one's actually pretty strong, but yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I don't like it. These crumble, and sometimes they're thin where the valve hole is, and they rip. They just shift. They shift too. They shift very easy, especially if you forget to pump up your tire. It's gonna shift and expose the spoke nipples. Let me throw that over there. Okay, so before I apply the electrical tape, I'm going to clean the rim because adhesive, with any adhesive, you got to clean the surface area from oils and dust and dirt before you apply the adhesive. So that's just general rule. So I use isopropyl alcohol. You can use soap and water. Rubbing. Actually, stay on this shot. Don't take it off of it. So my bad. I should have brought this over here. Isopropyl alcohol right here. Let's get a shot of that. So, AKA rubbing alcohol. The reason I use it, especially out in the field, is I don't have to rinse it off like soap and soapy water and wait for it to dry. This evaporates really fast, especially in the heat. So that's why if I'm doing something in the field, I use a lot of isopropyl alcohol. So what I'm gonna do is just clean this rim. I think it's a chrome rim or stainless steel. So I just spray it. I get a clean cotton rag. I use a cotton rag or some, because if you use like a paper towel, it's gonna rip up and leave little pieces everywhere, and that's gonna the adhesive not gonna stick that well. So use a cotton rim strip right there. I'm gonna clean that side of that rim too while I'm at it, so it look all shiny before and after. But yeah, I'm just gonna clean it, and when you're doing this, inspect your rim. Kind of like how when you got a flat tire, you kind of rub your finger slowly along the tire, in the inside of the tire, checking for any thorns or anything like that. A lot of times, these, they're machined, and they're sometimes the top of the spoke nipples. Let's see if we can get a close up inside there. There we go. Which one's the close up camera? This one right here. No. Oh, this one. My bad. This one is okay. Let's get a close up shot. Camera number. There we go. Bam. Sometimes the top of these spoke nipples can be really sharp. So feel slowly, and also feel inside the rim. Feel inside the rim. Slowly spin the rim and feel it. For any sharp areas. If it's sharp, these spokes shouldn't be past the top of the spoke nipple. If it is, the wheel wasn't built correctly, or it's not true, properly. Also, like say maybe you bought a used bicycle, and they replaced the spoke because the spoke broke, and they replaced it with the wrong size. That's another reason why the spoke can protrude above the top of the spoke nipple. Again, this is a single walled rim. So, but what I do, if it's sharp, wide shot please, I get a file. I usually get a round file, and I just file it to get rid of that sharp, those little metal burrs or metal splinters. File it. If the say the wheel's trued properly, but there's one spoke that's just like a millimeter high above the spoke nipple, I'll file it down. If it's just 1 millimeter, yeah, I'll just file it so it's flush with that top of that spoke nipple. Now you don't want to file a lot of material from the spoke nipple, because then it'll just break and pop out, of course. Okay, let's get a close up of that. Okay, so I don't know how I'm gonna do this shot. Let's see, but we're gonna do it. So let's get a close up. Let me see the valve. Let me get the valve hole in the shot. There we go. It's a Schrader valve. So bam, there we go. We got the valve hole. So I'm gonna start on this side of the valve hole, and I'm gonna wrap it twice. So I'm gonna go all the way around, cover this once, and then I'm gonna end it on this side. I'm starting on this side, but I'm ending on this side. So that's how you only get one layer of electrical tape over this valve hole. So let's zoom out a little bit more on the PTZ. A little lower. Right there. That's good. So I'm going to let's see here. So we got that. Let's see. It's hard to do it. Okay, so like you see? Okay. So when you kind of want to stretch it out too. If you don't want to block the rim hook. You want it centered. Sometimes if it's a very thin rim, like a 700 by 28C type rim, you can pull the electrical tape and make it thinner. The width of it thinner. So the more you pull on it, the more thinner less wide the electrical tape will be. So that's the cool thing about electrical tape, is you can adjust the width of it by putting some tension on it. Now you don't want to put too much tension, but you want to, you know what I mean? You don't want to distort it to where it's like not sticking or anything. Let's go to the wide shot, or let's go to this camera right here, the far right here, camera number 2. So there we go. We don't have to be that close. Because I want to be able to, let's see, put it a little bit lower, right, no, a little bit higher, right there. That's good. Okay, so it's hard for me to do it on this table because I'm too short for this. Okay, so I'm just gonna run this, and it may not be that perfect, but now see, I'm pressing. You see, with my other hand, I'm kind of rubbing it, making sure that adhesive sticks on there. And nothing should be poking through this electrical tape, because I checked my rim. I'm pushing on there, kind of rubbing my hand on there. I'm going. Go on. You know, so I'm over the valve hole. I'm already back at the beginning. Just going over it again. Going over it again. Let's stay on number 2, please. Number 2. There we go. Actually, zoom in more. Zoom in more. Yeah, zoom in real good. As much as you can. Right there. That's good. I love it. Love that shot. So, let's go. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, boom, boom, boom. Okay, and I'm gonna cut it so when right before the other side. I think that's now. Let me see. Okay, so it's kind of far away from it, but it's just for demonstration purposes. Now, you may be like, well, why don't you want to cover that valve hole twice? I'm going to let you know because of most rims. Let's go to super wide, please. Middle camera. So most rims, this is like a very old rim. This is an old school rim. So the hole's like bigger diameter than a Schrader valve. There's a lot more room. But with a lot of the new rims, newest manufactured rims, the hole is barely big enough for that valve to go through. So when you go to poke a hole in the electrical tape to put the valve in, it can't go through because when you poke the hole, the electrical tape kind of caves in and wraps around the inside of the valve hole, wraps around inside the valve hole, and so it makes the diameter of the valve hole on the rim a little bit smaller. So you're not going to be able to it's going to be very difficult to shove that. You don't want to be shoving it because it's rubber, so it's easy to damage. So you only want one layer of electrical tape over the valve hole. And now I'm going to keep it on the shot, please. Let me get my Phillips screwdriver. Where's my Phillips at? There we go. Okay. So I get a Phillips screwdriver, and I just poke a hole through it. Boom. You know what I mean? So let me where's the valve hole? There we go. So let's go to the close-up, please. The real close-up. Good. The one on the far right, or your left. Boom, right there. So here we go. So I'm using a Phillips number 2 screwdriver. I mean, you could use probably a number 1, whatever. But yeah, I got that. It's all good. Got it. Okay, so I just kind of see and feel where the valve hole is, and I'm just gonna poke it in there, and I'm kind of gonna move it a circular motion that way, make sure I can make that hole pretty wide. That way I can shove that that valve in there. So this is applicable for Schrader and Presta valves. Let me see. Keep it on that shot real quick. I think I have a Schrader valve. Let's see. Or where's that tube at? I got that tube. So let me get that tube. So I'm just gonna let's see. Let me try to zoom out and then readjust with the close-up one. Let's get a zoom in. Yeah, right here. So you can see. So yeah, it's just of course I can't. This tube is being difficult. But yeah. Let's see here. Boom. So you just let's see if you can zoom in more. Zoom in real more. Can you zoom in more with the PTZ? That's as close as it get. Okay. But anyways, let me. But yeah, if there was more lighting, you could see like some electrical tape kind of maybe protruding a bit. But yeah, again, you don't want your valve crooked like that. You want it to be kind of straight with the spokes a bit, the base of the spokes. I mean the where the spokes meet the rim. So you want it to be straight, not crooked, like that. So yeah, that's all I have to say about putting electrical tape on a rim. It gets you by in a pinch. I know some people live in rural areas, you know, and you never know if even if you do live near a bike shop, they may not have like that cotton adhesive rim strip, and so electrical tape is very plentiful. I think everywhere in the world they use it. So, anyways, we'll be right back. I'm going to talk about bike locks next. Hang tight. Cool. Okay. Yeah, we got like 15 minutes. What's up, everybody? We are back. Bosque Mobile Bicycle Repair here. I'm going to be talking about bicycle locks, how to lock up your bicycle properly, you know, what type of locks I recommend. I have some here. I mean, I'm not going to do your research. Do your research. I want you to do your research. I don't want to, my goal isn't really here to promote any brands of bike locks. It's just to educate you and give you that kind of groundwork that you can use, a general learning, and then you can do more research on it in the future. It's summertime, spring 2026. A lot of people are going to be riding their bikes. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to get their bicycles stolen. But I'm here to say that don't say that nobody told you so. This lock right here is one that I see a lot of people buy. It's called a cable lock, and it's a stranded braided cable. Should I put it on the table for? I'm gonna put it on the table so you can close up on it. PTZ, whatever PTZ you want. Let's do it with the PTZ. So cable lock. Now this is a very thin one, and I see this a lot, and you can watch my shorts and on YouTube or some other social media platforms, but I see expensive bikes locked up with a cable lock. I'm talking thousands of dollars. I've seen bikes with this type of lock. It may not be the same diameter, but it may be a little bit larger in diameter, maybe. But these things are extremely easy to cut. I mean, you can cut them with let's see, hold on a second. Let me get my, you don't have to wide shot on this. Let me see. So you can cut them with this pair of side cutters or wire cutters. Electricians use these. You can cut through this easily. I might do this at the end just to demonstrate, but I mean, even cutting through the rubber is easier with these. So yeah, I mean, you can watch my videos on social media. I worked on bikes that are really expensive and really cheap with this type of lock. If you have this kind of lock as your main lock, you're getting your bike stolen, because they're not going to have to cut through a giant U-lock like this. Let's go to the wide shot, please. So instead of if say there's a bicycle that's has one of these on it, and then they see another bicycle with this on it, they're going to go for the bicycle with this as a lock. They cut through it. Instead of taking the time to cut this or fiddle with this, they're going to go for the bike like this. And like I said, I've seen bicycles worth thousands of dollars with this type of lock. That's because they spent all the money on the bike and didn't have enough money left over for a good lock. So if you want to get your bike stolen. Now, the only time I would use this type of lock is to lock the front wheel to the frame of the bicycle, you know, and use a U-lock or a better lock for as my main lock. So this just slows them down, you know what I mean? If they see this with a U-lock, wide shot please. Wide shot, yeah. So with this combined with this, they're just gonna move along, you know. So yeah, I cut through this with a hacksaw. It was like I cut through it in less than a minute. I used a hacksaw. I bought this and I just tested it out. So I was like, see how fast I can get through it. But yeah, these are some common tools that thieves carry. Is of course the side cutters. Let's get a kind of not a super close up. We can do this one real quick. Yeah. So hacksaw. I haven't really seen anybody use a hacksaw honestly, but I love hacksaws. But yeah, hacksaw. You got to be skilled with it. I'm pretty skilled with it. Angle grinder. I know there's a lot of videos on YouTube with like angle grinders. I know this isn't a cutting wheel. This is a grinding wheel, but this is just for demonstration. Yeah, some bike thieves are starting to get these. These are getting a lot cheaper. Angle grinders, especially battery operated angle grinders, are getting a lot cheaper. You know, you can spend $50 on an angle grinder and get a $3,000 bicycle. So a lot of people are cutting through U-locks with these, testing U-locks. I don't know how good this lock is. Well, it is a good lock. It is a really good lock, but I never had my bike stolen with this lock. But it's a Kryptonite, New York, forget about it, lock. New York, forget about it, lock. It's very popular, especially in New York. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. So angle grinder. The thing about these is most people don't know how to use them, and most people, these things cause a lot of injuries, especially with metal fabricators. This is like the #1 tool that causes injuries. Think about this, but yeah, it's most likely the thief is going to hurt himself and take your bicycle with one of these, because they're not going to wear protective gear and they're not going to have the correct cutting wheel or know how to use it. These things can kick back too. So, but anyways, people are using these. Also, we got some bolt cutters here. These are your typical size of bolt cutters that people like to use to steal locks. See, this is why you should have a U-lock, because you cannot cut a U-lock with this. I mean, you probably could, but I don't know. It's just too wide, the diameter. So it just makes it more difficult to cut. Now they do make bolt cutters that are way bigger than this. Now a chain link, like a typical chain, that you can cut through easily with the bolt cutters, the diameter. But see, this is so wide, you can't even get it around. So you got to be pretty strong. That guy's got to be pretty strong to cut that. Now let's get in the white shot, please. I'm gonna measure these so you know what size these are. Now they make 3. In America, I've seen like 3 standard sizes of bolt cutters. You have like a very small one, you have a medium sized one, and you got this giant large one. So most thieves are not going to walk around with some giant bolt cutters. Or they're probably not going to be able to find them. They're kind of rare, but I've seen them before. So this is around 2 feet long, a little bit more than 2 feet. So these are like your standard bolt cutters that people have. Like I said, if they're riding around, it's gonna be hard for them to ride away with a bicycle and bolt cutters, giant bolt cutters. Now lock picks. I know you're probably thinking, oh, people can pick locks. Most people don't have the skill to do that. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that have the skill and have picked the locks that I have here today, but they've spent the money on it. They're pretty pricey tools. I'm not saying that there is not bike thieves out there that don't have those tools and that skill and that knowledge. They are very rare. Typically in big cities or major cities in America, for example, like Manhattan, New York, those people they do exist over there, and I've seen videos where they have stolen a bike and they put the lock back onto wherever they locked it up to, just to taunt the person that they stole the bike from. So there's some real skillful people out there, and there's some people who bicycles are a big, their addiction, a fetish to some people. So they will go through. There's some people they'll take the time and the knowledge to acquire tools and skill to pick a lock and steal a bicycle, and they have an extensive collection of bicycles, especially expensive ones. But I'm a bicycle mechanic, and I go out on the trail, and people always come up to me, oh, I got my bike stolen, blah blah blah. They and I'm like, what kind of lock did you have? Yeah, and, they'll tell me what kind of, a cable lock, and I'm like, so they're just asking for it. So anyways, we're going to talk about these locks. So let's see you lock. Let's get a little closer. Let's go to camera number 2, please. Camera number 2, let's zoom in a little bit. Not crazy zoom in, but Okay, so this is the Kryptonite New York forget about it lock. This is the one that I bought. It's pretty big. Just zoom in more. Right there, like that. Cool. All right. So I like this lock a lot. I've had it for a long time. I think I've had it for over 10 years. They probably updated it with, who knows, new features or something. It has a little slide thing in here. Let's zoom in real close on this. That's good. That's good. Good enough. So you don't want water getting in there, especially, because it could rust the locking mechanism inside, the pins and stuff. So I like this so you can close it, and so moisture doesn't get in there, humidity, and rust up your bike lock. It's always good to spray some lubricant in there. There's special lock lubricant, and I forget that famous lock brand, but they make the lubricant for locks. Spray it in there once a year or twice a year if you live in a high humidity area, or especially if you live near the ocean or salt will spray. Keep that inside the lock lubricated. Don't go crazy on it, just a little, you know what I mean? Like, just like a couple drops or spray, nothing crazy, and then work your key in there and turn it so that way it lubricates the pins. Because I've actually seen people get locked out of their houses because there was rusted. Their house locks were rusted, and it was all bad. This has an art rating of I think a 4 out of 5 stars. You don't have to go crazy on the zoom, but so ART is a third-party organization that rates the effectiveness of bike locks. I looked into the organization a long time ago. I don't remember a whole lot about it. Do your research. Some of these third-party organizations are just get money from bicycle manufacturers or bicycle locks or lock manufacturers. So, if they're taking money from them, they could give them a favorable review. So, there's incentive. There's a what is it called? Conflict of interest. Now, I'm not saying they do that. I don't want to get sued, but just look into it, do your research, do your homework. I did it a long time ago. I'm whatever. Also, this is a titanium lock. Let's get that number 2 camera, please. Number 2 camera. Okay. So this is a Tiger lock. This is made out of titanium, and I forget what that other element is with the GR. Put it in the link below. Somebody comment below. So this is a titanium lock. I love this lock. It's a little awkward. It's a little funky. It's made here in the USA. It has a cool cylinder right here. It doesn't have you can't close it up like with the New York Forget About It lock. But it's pretty cool. I love it. I think I have my keys. I don't have my keys on me right now. I gotta get it. But I'll open it later. Let me see. But yeah, this is a cylinder. Actually, hold on. Keep this shot. Just hold this shot. I'll be right back. Let me get my keys. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're back. So you gotta it pops out. It's not gonna fall out, but it's kind of weird. But I just kind of squeeze this together, and let's see, boom, comes out. So it's a trippy lock. So this will fit. Your diameter of your frame is gonna easily fit through here. Let's go to the wide shot, please. Really wide shot. And I'm gonna look at this bike. So the cool thing about this is you can use it like lock up your frame, your down tube. Let's go. Okay, yeah, we're good. Yeah, see, and then lock it up to something. But you don't have a whole lot of play or room as you would with the U-lock, the big U-lock. That's one reason why I don't like those little tiny locks, those U-locks, because you may only have enough room to lock up your down tube to a pole versus your down tube, your rear wheel to a pole. So that combination of thereof. But yeah, so this is my my locks that I use. Do your research on them. I don't want to recommend these and then you get your bike stolen. You're like, hey, you recommended these locks. This is just what I use, and so far it's worked. I actually have gotten my bike. I don't want to go off on a story, but I've actually had my bike stolen with this lock. I think the manufacturer gave me a free one. I kept the cylinder, and they replaced this one for free. I don't remember. It's been so long, But the person that cut through it had bolt cutters. And it was actually a security guard company that stole my bike. but they had the Downs Casino in Albuquerque, New Mexico, stole my bike, and I told them, I confronted them. I said, it wasn't some bike thief or junkie. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, because I knew they had professional. They probably had something bigger than this to cut this lock, because this isn't easy to cut. But anyways, that's how I knew it was them, because I was like, nah, nobody stole my bike. They tried to tell me somebody stole it, and I was like, you guys took my bike. Downs Casino in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Actually, I sued them, but anyways, long story. I'll post the PDF in the post. Anyways, but I saw how clean the cut was. That's how I found out. But after that, I mean, nobody's gonna walk around with bolt cutters bigger than this. And I want to test these bolt cutters to cut this, but I don't really want to mess. Yeah, I don't want to mess up my bolt cutters. Yeah. Anyways, another thing I want to talk about is another way to prevent bike theft is quick releases. This is the. Let's try to. Now you moved out the way. Let's get a zoom in on this. I guess the central one. Yeah, if you can get a zoom in, please. So let me see. These are the worst thing. This is the worst thing they could have put on bicycles right here, because it not only is easy to take off your bicycle, but it's also easy for a thief to steal your bike or steal your wheels or parts of your bicycle. And that's why I really don't like these. Most people don't tighten these properly. They're extremely loose when they're riding and the wheel falls off. That's why they got something called lawyer tabs on the frame of a bicycle. They don't put these little springs right here on properly. This is the proper way to put them on, usually these are flipped around the other way. These things are just a nightmare because most people don't know how to use these, are not using these properly. There's not enough. The manufacturer doesn't put instructional manuals on how to close these or open these properly. So what I recommend is use these right here. Keep it on that shot, please. Like close up. Back out a little bit, please. No, with the other camera, with the one you had, that one. Yeah. No, not number 2. The other one. 4. Okay, zoom in a little bit more. Right there, but just keep this in the frame. This is the top. This is the bottom. Okay. So yeah, with these, I highly recommend these. You don't have to get this brand. Other brands make them. They're Delta is the brand that I'm holding right now, but they're called anti-theft skewers. They're not that anti-theft, but it's not a quick release. It's better than using a quick release, and it's easier for beginners to tighten their wheel properly and not have a big safety issue. You use a 5mm hex key. I have this one on a bit, but it's just a hex 5mm Allen key. So that's all you need to use to tighten it. Actually, when I fixed my flat, that's what I used. That's what I had on my wheel. Some bikes do come with these brand new, but most don't. Most come with the quick release. Spend the money on this. That way, they can't just steal your front wheel, because people are stealing parts off of bikes, especially in downtown Denver. Use these. So these don't cost that much. I think they cost around $10. And make sure that these springs are put on properly. The big side hits the end of this, and the little side goes, inwards. But yeah, I highly recommend these. You just use a hex key to do these. Yeah, make sure you get the right size. It even tells you the torque on here, 8.5 Newton meters torque. And you could use a torque wrench to tighten your wheels properly. With these, you just do it by feel, and that's not good. I don't know why this is the worst thing you can put on your bike, because I've seen a lot of I locked my bicycle up properly, the rear wheel to the frame, to a pole, and I came back and my front wheel was missing. You know why? Because it had this on it, and they just boom. So yeah. Also, I want to show you this. Keep it on that shot. Actually, let me get some contrast here. So this is called a, this is made by Kryptonite, the same brand right here. Right here. These are really awesome. I don't know why these haven't taken off. I think they call them gravity nuts. Now, if you put this on properly, I'm not going to demonstrate it because we don't have time, but you put these on properly, and you can, if you put them on properly, if your bicycle is upright, like it's on the two wheels, you can tighten it, but you cannot loosen it. The only way you can loosen it is you have to flip your bicycle upside down, and there's like a little mechanism in there. So what you have to do is, in order to take off your wheel, you have to flip the bicycle upside down, just like how I did when I fixed the tire, and it allows you to loosen the bolt. Now these, if you have this on there, you're not going to get your front wheel stolen. You know, this, I mean, I'm not guaranteeing it, but you know, they're not going to know what to do. They're going to have a hex key. These take a, you know, a hex key, 5mm Allen key to tighten and loosen. But they also make these for axles, for solid axles, just like my rear wheel I took off. Actually, I didn't have a quick release or through axle on that, my rear wheel. It was on the front wheel, I had one, but they do make the like little nuts for the that work the same way, you know, for solid axles. Sorry. Okay, got that. So I'll talk about this. Talk about the bicycle. Let's get some shots of the bicycle, please. Let me see. I'm gonna give you some time. Get the rear wheel. Get this area of this. I'm gonna get this. Yeah, you're probably not gonna. No, camera number 2 is not probably gonna get it. So the gentleman that has this bike, he likes to keep his lock, his Kryptonite U-lock. This is a Kryptonite U-lock too, but it's not as thick as mine's. But he likes to keep it on the rear rack, and it kind of just flops here, you know. And it's just, I know a lot of people like to put their locks on their rack, especially cable locks, like to wrap it up. Big no-no. This, a lot of times, sometimes, I mean, with this type of rack, it's not going to happen, but it's not going to go into the spokes. But I've seen my friend, actually, one of my friends, this went into the wheel, broke his spokes. He probably got in an accident. I don't recommend this. You're going to scratch up your bike. I mean, this is a beater bike, but I mean, still, it's just going to make a bunch of noise. It's going to flop around. It could probably come out, get loose and come out. I don't like doing that. Get some panniers. I personally just put it in my backpack, my lock in my backpack. Get some panniers, or get like a little top bag, you know, like the police officers have. They have that little top that straps onto the top. It's just, and put it inside that bag. Put it in a bag. I don't like the brackets they sell with U-locks, even this brand, Kryptonite. You know, they have these little bracket mounts that you go right here. Let's get a little wider on that, whatever shot you have. I don't like those ones because you know why? You're going to kick it while you're pedaling, and it's going to go out, and you're probably going to get in an accident. They're never that stable. They're never that good. If you have a nice bike, you're going to scratch it up pretty bad. It's just, I don't like it. I just put it in a bag. Put it in a bag, be safe. It's heavy, I know, it sucks, but you're not gonna get your bike stolen. You're not gonna get it damage your bicycle. You're not gonna, you know what I mean? And you don't want, whatever you strap it with, you don't want that getting caught up in your bicycle, getting loose. It's just not worth it. Trust me, I've had it happen to me a lot. I don't do that. Okay, how are we doing on time? Oh, shit. Let's. I'm gonna. We're cool. Are we cool on time? Or should we wrap it up? Anybody?
Keep going.
Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna show you how to lock up your bicycle properly. I'm gonna use the gentleman's bicycle that right here. Okay, so. So I'm gonna use. So we're gonna pretend that this bicycle repair stand. Let me know if you need more time to set up. focus. Let me know, you guys. So let's just say this is a bike rack, and I'm going to use my my Tiger Lock, TIGR. Look them up. Made in America. And so I'm going to lock up the rear wheel and the frame to the pole. That's ideally what you want to do. And so I go in right here, boom, boom, boom. And then it's going to be a tight squeeze because this lock is not as big as the Kryptonite New York lock. And then lock it, boom. So you want to lock your rear wheel and frame to the pole. Okay. Now, if you're in a high theft area, I would recommend taking off your rear wheel, and say you're going to work, and you're going to leave your bicycle and maybe in a sketchy area. Well, hopefully you shouldn't do that, but take your wheel into work with you. A lot of people do that. That's pretty smart. I use the anti-theft skewer, or the Kryptonite gravity nut skewer. And they can't take my wheel. Well, I mean, if somebody does, they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? They're going to be there for a while. That's not likely going to happen. Let me move this out the way so I can do the outro. But yeah. I love that titanium lock because it is super light. So that's the one. If I'm not going to go to sketchy areas, or I'm not going to leave my bike alone for a long time, I'll take the titanium lock. So yeah, put this back in here. Okay, got that. Throw the keys. I'm out of breath. Gotta ride my bike more, get more exercise. Anyways, thank you for watching my show. I hope you learned something to make your bicycle ride a little better. Hope you got some knowledge. Knowledge is power. And knowledge will keep you from getting flats or your bike stolen. So like I said, do your research, do your homework. There's a lot of people making videos out there, and but yeah, visit my website for more information about my business. I'm on 15 different social media channels. I also have a free downloadable PDF on my website called Top 10 Reasons Why Cyclists Get Flats. And I have more educational articles. Hit the like button and subscribe if you would like to donate. The link is in the description below. Sorry about that. Comment below. Let me know where in the world you are located, what country and or city you live in. I'm happy that people can learn from my videos all over the world. I get comments from people in Canada, Ireland, I think Africa. We got and I also could see analytics on YouTube. People from the UK, Philippines are watching my videos. So I'm happy. I'm happy that my viewers live everywhere and are a diverse crowd. So yeah, my name is Frankie from Bosque Mobile Bicycle Repair. Have a great ride. I'll see you next time.